This is preparation.
Wait,
It's
he played
preparation.
G5.
He's sacrificing a piece already.
We are in for a thriller, boys and girls.
These were the opening moves of Maggie versus Ali, because their game went to an Armageddon. Because when Maggie met Ali in a classical game, it went to a draw, no surprises there, and so we get this Armageddon chess. Magnus Carlsen, world number 1 with black. If he draws, it counts as a win. So his young opponent, Alireza Firouzja, repeats this Gucci Reza piano opening, and Magnus goes for an aggressive placement with his bishop as well. This is a blitz time control. They're over the board. Norway Chess, round 9. Let's go. D3 from Alireza. Now the opening moves repeat the classical game, but soon we get fireworks because Alireza gets aggressive. He starts with bishop g5, doing a whoosh as he moves it so many squares like that. The top guys love to do it. Magnus goes h6, puts the question to the sniper. It retreats, and now he could go g5, launch Gary the g pawn down the board, but he holds off. d6 first, c3 from Alireza, not copying Magnus's knight placement, and now his pawn dominates this knight. Often it's a problem piece in these Roy Lopez or Italian game structures. a6 now from Carlsen. Is he preparing to tuck the rook into bed or retreat the bishop? Well, after knight bd2, the question we all wanted answering is answered, because the bishop retreats, sanity prevails, Magnus castles, and Magnus now goes for this move of queen to e7. Why not castle? Why not g5? Well, he's supporting bishop e6, and he then wants to recapture with the queen and break this annoying pin. So Alireza goes b4, expanding. Now we get bishop e6. Does Alireza do anything? No. a4, more expansion, setting up one of the rarest things in elite level chess, the extended bathtub. The bishop's over here, chilling with the rubber ducky, and after castles from Magnus, in the classical game, we got rook b1. But not here. Alireza goes bishop d5, and this is some home cooking, because Magnus Carlsen now breaks the pin here with g5. You know, he'd love to have taken there twice with bishop and knight, but this one is so annoying. So that's why he pushes with the pawn. But what does Alireza do? He sacrifices the knight on g5, and it's around here we've got commentator freakout.
This is preparation.
Wait,
It's
he played
preparation.
G5.
He's sacrificing a piece already.
We are in for a thriller, boys and girls.
Now you can recapture that knight simply. It's the top engine move, and then you do things like king g7 and try and move your queen and unravel, but Magnus goes for something different with knight takes on d5. And now if you capture this one in the center, well, pawn takes here is good for black. The pawn's now supported, the bishop's got to retreat, or if you keep on capturing, say like this, well, it's good for black. You emerge a piece ahead here. So we come back. We didn't see takes on d5. Alireza takes on e6, best move, and now again, how do you capture? Here or here? Well, if you take on e6, wrong move. Strike thyself with a wooden stick. Because here, white can take the piece, fork 2 pieces, forcing queen recaptures if you want to keep a material balance, and then queen g4 check comes. And it's this huge attack. We're in the back cave here, analysis mode, black's toast. So we don't see that one of queen takes on e6. We see queen takes on h4 instead. Now recaptures here, pawn takes, and you want to take the knight, but first white flicks in g3 because there's huge pressure on f2 3 times. So g3 played, the queen's got to go. Now the knight drops on c6, and we get b recaptures on c6. Look at the state of that sorry pawn structure. Makes you want to pull a face like this. But in compensation, after queen e2, covering f2, preparing king h1, Magnus gets dynamic counterplay here. With his rooks, with his bishop, sniping from afar, and a queen in the danger zone. So king h1 played. Now the rooks double, the 2 towers converging on f2, and that's why f3. Ugly move, opening the bishop, but necessary to hold the fort together. Rook g5 now from Carlsen. He sets a trap. He wants to take on g3. This pawn is pinned. He looks around, poker face, but Alireza spots it. Queen g2 played, offering an exchange, covering the threats, and although Magnus loves an endgame, without the queens on, he correctly retreats here. He's got to keep them on the board and attack that white king. Long term, his pawn structure's a mess. Now knight e4 playable, but Alireza goes rook a d1. Trickier move. If queen takes on d3, well, the knight hops to e4, you open the discovered attack of the rook, and this knight would then be hitting this rook. So Magnus doesn't touch the pawn. He goes h5, using that one as a tin opener, trying to rip open the tinner tuner over here. My cat loves it. And now instead of knight e4, looks really natural, hitting this rook, Alireza goes knight b3. Pure Fleetwood Mac, going his own way. And he's looking for knight a5 here, where he hits c6, but also d4 expansion ideas. Magnus doesn't care. He carries on, ripping open the position, and Alireza says not so fast. Pushes with pawn g4 to keep the lines closed. The queen moves back to h7, threatening h3, and Alireza could push that pawn forward himself. But then the light squares are Swiss cheese. The bishop can bounce into e3 and f4. He's hesitant to do so, so he starts with queen e2. Magnus goes h3, quick as a flash here. He's still about 2.5 minutes down on the clock, but that one sets up long-term mating patterns. d4 now from Alireza, interrupting the flow of this bishop, opening his queen here. And what does Magnus do? Great move in the circumstances, top way to play. Pawn takes on d4. Not an obvious choice, because the white queen can now take with check. But Alireza didn't do it. Why not? Well, this queen can block, and this is a sample line. Because the queens leave the board, and then you recoup your pawn, well, the black king marches in ever so fast, hitting d5, where it's going to sit on the head of this one. The knight's a bit dominated by the bishop, and the rooks can get active. Not the way to go. Instead, we see takes on d4. Now e5 from Magnus. More great chess. This time, if you capture, you really start activating this rook and the bishop. So instead, we see knight a5, sacking this pawn, which Magnus takes, but this one now drops, and the bishop under fire. But both players just on top of their game here. Because does Magnus move the bishop? No, he doesn't. He reactivates his queen onto a new file here, pressuring the pawn on f3, and it looks down in this direction. Some dangerous stuff going on. Now this bishop was not captured. Why not? It wins a pawn. Plus the black king could come under fire. Maybe this one can drop. Well, when you run it with the Silicon Overlord that sees everything, rook e5 gives black enough counterplay. This one can block, but then white can double, or black can double rather. You get lines something like this, and with the rook able to invade via f4 and this pawn a pain in the rear end, the queen's getting active on the light squares, black gets enough play. So Alireza doesn't touch the bishop in the centre. He goes rook c1, eyeballing this backwards pawn here, but now rook g6 from Magnus. A slow move, but a correct move. Spinning round, we get this pawn dropping off the board, the a pawn about to run, but rook f6 gives counterplay. Alireza drops back. The a pawn got the red carpet rolled out, so Magnus, what does he do? He crashes through now, but it is a mistake. King h8, a bit more precise. He takes on f3, but it sets up a tactic for Alireza Firouzja. The tactics king, he's a blitz beast. Can you find the move for white here that wins an exchange essentially? Awesome stuff. The move to play is knight e7 check, but it was missed by Alireza. And here's the cool point. If queen recaptures, then it's left the defense of this rook, and you pick up this exchange. White's doing great. And if you don't touch that knight, say you move the king, well, if you come to h8, then you're running into this fork. Again, the queen can't be distracted, or the rook drops. And if you come to h7, so as not to run into this stuff, well, then there's this check here. And again, the king is just getting really hunted. The knight hits this amazing outpost. The line goes like this, and white is killing it because the knight's so dominant. The king's under fire. The a-pawn's running. Alireza's big shot. He doesn't find it. He takes on f3. We see a liquidation. All these pieces going into the blender. And now after knight takes here, although Alireza's a-pawn is dangerous, his rook's eyeing c7. He can't yet activate and take, or he's getting branked. This pawn traps in the white king. King g1 technically best, but Alireza goes rook a1. They're playing on seconds, and Stockfish has a meltdown. Magnus Carlsen completely winning now, but only if he finds pawn to d3. King g7 also good, but these pieces amazingly placed. His pawn's faster, but he misses it. He goes rook b3 here. It's game on once more. Alireza's a-pawn running. Magnus captures. Run, Forest, run. The rook comes back, scurrying to cover. Just gets there in time. Now king g1 played. c5. Alireza on the march here, but look at this professor clump of pawns in the centre. King f7 played, king e2 and c4. The most explosive move. It's Armageddon on the board here. They're rolling down. So difficult for white to cover these ones. And after this move of king c3, pressuring the pawn, Magnus covers with d5, and Alireza's best is to take that pawn. This is how the line could go. You sack the a-pawn. This is the problem. Everything goes into the blender. This is one sample line, and everything's coming off the board all the way through. That's how a game could end in a draw. So Alireza should take, but leads to a draw. No good for him. So he goes rook a2, staying with this one, but Magnus marches in, about to gobble this one. Then he comes in this direction, this one dropping. These are untouchable by the king. It's just horrible. Here Alireza resigns the game, about to lose on time. Magnus Carlsen does it again. He stays top of Norway Chess. If you enjoyed, smash that subscribe button and see the video on screen for another epic game of chess. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon.